Cross over to the Lake Region, Kisumu, where the Lake Region Economic Bloc is holding a legislative assembly caucus meeting today at St. John's Manor Hotel in Kisumu. The meeting will serve to orientate the assembly caucus on the formation of the bank and the draft assembly bill, which will be used to ratify the bloc in all the county assemblies. Each of the 14 counties will send a delegation headed by a speaker and deputy, minority and majority whips, and their deputies, as well as clerks of the county assemblies, chairpersons of budget and finance committees. The meeting will be chaired by Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya and Bomet Governor Joyce Laboso. Kevin Ogutu is covering this story for us and now joins us. Kevin, what else can you tell us that was mentioned during this meeting?
A very good afternoon, Ashley. Actually, this particular Lake Region Economic Bloc Legislative Assembly caucus has been ongoing, is actually ongoing right now. It started somewhere in the morning, and I can tell you, out of the 14 counties, each of the 14 counties has actually sent a delegation here. As we mentioned, we expected speakers and the deputy speakers of the respective county assemblies, together with the minority whips, together with their deputies, all the way to the chairpersons of the finance committees within the county assemblies. So for those who did not make it, they sent representatives all the way from Bomet, Kericho, Kisumu, just to mention a few of the county assemblies that make up this regional economic bloc. And now, some of the things that came up actually during the discussion is the need for a decentralized, the need to actually cast the net wider when it comes to getting resources approaching financial institutions, like for example the World Bank, where they said it's actually better if a bloc approaches World Bank or IMF for that matter, so that they could sponsor or they could support by way of giving finances to this particular bloc, which will in turn now look at their priorities and how best to decentralize this within the bloc for access of every other member county. And therefore, joining me this afternoon is Mr. Geoffrey Omulai, who is the head of Secretariat. Secretariat is an arm of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. Mr. Geoffrey Omulai is the CEC of Finance in Kakamega County. And my question to Mr. Omulai will be, just come over. When do we expect this to come to? When do we expect the ratification? Now that they're talking about actually the legal bit of the bloc, when do we expect this to come to pass?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Geoffrey Omulai. I'm the chairman of the Council of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. Now, the purpose of us meeting at this time is that the county assemblies are now in possession of the budget for the financial year 2018-2019, so that if they can be able to pass it before June, then they can be able to factor in some of the financial implications that would be actually required in the various sectors within the economic bloc. Yeah.
So, do we have a timeline for that?
Yeah, the timeline is that we should be able to pass the budget before the end of June 30th. So we want every county assembly now to go back and look into what proposals have been put in the agreement that has been made, so that they can be able to pass it as soon as possible.
We've seen that a number of counties are actually looking at the various key sectors that they're focusing on. For example, Kisumu will be leading in tourism, Busia, agriculture, and all that. How much do you expect this to be of success?
Now, the whole idea was that instead of every county looking into all the aspects, they decided to have 10 pillars. So each county is assigned a pillar to lead. And then based on that, they are now the ones to liaise with the Secretariat of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. And whatever they come up with, it comes now to the council. Once we meet and we are able to ratify some of the issues, we pass it over now to the summit, which is now comprising of all the 14 governors.
So before I let you go, Mr. Omulai, I would probably like you to explain to somebody who is down there watching from some village on what the direct impact? Because the meeting being seen on the television, some of the residents may not really relate so much. So could you break down how an ordinary villager from the economic bloc will benefit from all this?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think what's important is that all that we want to be doing within the economic bloc must be, first of all, lawful. That's how the county assemblies have come into place. Now, we can take an example. When in the past we used to have a patient, say, having cancer, you would either go to Nairobi or even go to India. But with this arrangement, they are now saying that if Kisii can be able to spearhead the health, and maybe we have one specialized hospital based there, another one in Kakamega, then the people don't have now to travel long journeys. And at the same time, because of the economies of scale, it means that we are going to have a specialization. And most of the donors are willing to support us in specific areas as opposed to trying to share the resources to every county.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Omulai, for that input. Actually, that was Mr. Omulai, who is the CC in charge of finance from the Kakamega County, and he heads the council in the Lake Region Economic Bloc. So the council is actually composed of CECs in charge of finance from all the 47 counties. So I will be introducing yet another stakeholder in this whole affair, who tell us a bit about what you're doing to actually popularize this among the people. You've been actively in.
What is all about Lake Region Economic Bloc. So all that we intend to do is to have stakeholders forum at Tom Mboya Labour College, whereby we'll bring all people, the political wing, that is the Kisumu County Senator, the women rep, members of County Assembly, the Bunges, the ODM party, the farmers, trade unions, and all the people living with disability, all equal representations of the people that comes from Kisumu County. We are also going to engage. There are some modalities that we are going to use. One, we are going to have communication-based platforms. Two, we are going to have TV/radio talk shows. Four, we are going to have that the town hall meetings at Tom Mboya Labour College, to ensure that our people gets the information about the Lake Region Economic Bloc. Our objective is simply to get to our people to understand the knowledge about the Lake Region Economic Bloc and to have the ownership about it. Exactly.
Thank you so much, Owich. So actually, just a bit of a background here. This particular block was actually launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta on the April of 2015, when we had the second devolution conference here in Kisumu. And probably after this particular session, we will be able to know which way this particular block will be moving, whether it will be a success or still there will be teething issues here and there. Back to you in studio, Ashley.
Thank you very much, Kevin Ogutu, for that, reporting from Kisumu. Now,